Hello, all my fellow knights, Vikings, samurai, and my name is N3BULA, and today, once again, I do saying about a Q&A, but this time I'm actually doing it. I have more than enough questions to do this Q&A now, so that's what I'm going to do. And just so you know, I am going to use some previous questions from my last time I announced the Q&A as well, because I believe I've got some good ones in there I'm going to use. But anyways, I may as well just get started. And how this is going to work is I'm going to answer the question, but you're going to actually see who it's from, with the question up front, and I'll obviously say as well. You'll see what I mean in a minute. So, anyways, getting started with question number one. Debic Meat asks me, first off, he says, congrats on 3K. Why did you choose the name Nebula 5? And what is your current opinion on Paw Patrol's state it is right now? Alright, well, first off, why did I choose the name Nebula 5? Um, okay, it's a bit of a story, so let me give you an idea. So, I used to be called Cyberforce Gaming. I thought it was pretty decent. After a while of using it, I realised it was a bit of a mouthful, and I didn't technically do any actual gaming when I covered like a kids' TV show, so I realised it didn't really work too well. So then I decided to think of other names that I could have used, and basically I came across a space stuff, like I wanted my name to have something to do with space. And instead of just calling myself Space something, it was a bit boring, I ended up changing it a bit, and that's when I came across like space storms. I thought, what would instead of just being space storm, I thought of a nebula. All right, and that's just where I got the name for it. That's when I decided to go as nebula, and I changed the E to a 3 to make it look a little bit more interesting. But not just that. The V at the end is supposed to be the Roman numeral for 5. There's no real reason I chose 5. It's just I thought 5 just sounded like a really interesting number. That's kind of it. And the second question, what is your opinion on the current state of Paw Patrol? That's a tough call. I'll be perfectly honest with you, that is a kind of tough call because I don't think it's doing absolutely terrible right now, but what I will say is I wish the pups in only introduced in sub-series will not got constantly sidelined. That's my only real downside of it is right now. I really wish they wouldn't keep doing that because I personally love Tuck, Ella, Rex, Wildcat, Copycat, and it just feels annoying now to know that they're just going to be completely sidelined because we're more than likely never going to see them again, which is just really annoying. It's not a big thing, but meh, that's just kind of how it is. Okay, Super Spy Shack. He asks, what do you think of the new Rescue Knights sub-series, and do you think Space Pops would be this year or next year, or somewhere in the future? He also congratulates me. Alright, answering the first question about Rescue Knights, I think it's pretty decent, okay? It's got potential, mainly because the gimmick of like a sort of medieval castle and the pups actually being knights is only a rare occasion that we've seen them perform in either a play or with the like dream things with a dragon and castle and stuff. It's not been a full on concept, and I feel like that kind of plays into how dinosaurs were only in a dream and then they made dinosaurs real. So, I mean, it's interesting. I'm looking forward to it. The only real downside I have is, of course, Claw being being a villain pup. It's not really a preference I would have went with, especially since we had 3 villain pups, and it's probably going to be well before we see another good one that actually joins the team. Maybe he'll realise that he does bad and join them, but who knows? Do you think? And second question about space pups. I really don't know, man. I never really have thought of space pups at all. Not because it's bad, just because just it's not something that's came to mind. I would love it to be a thing, but I think we're at least a year before that kind of concept is going to happen, and that's even if they realise if it's going to be anything actually interesting to do. Okay, well, anyways, moving on. Skimmers rate. Well, I don't know how to say that. Sorry, I butchered that. I know. Asks number one, what is your favorite Disney animated movie? What are your favorite animated shows on TV? What's your favorite color? And Who's your fifth favorite character? Um, okay, well, maybe I start with the easy one. Favorite color? Probably orange or red. I physically cannot decide between the two because I've always been fascinated with just how much I like using the color orange. I'm like, listen, if I was to show you my room right now, the majority of it is either red or has some form of orange in it because, well, that's just one of my colors in it. It just happens to be my favorite, and that's really it. My fifth favorite character. I'm going to assume you mean just character in general. Um, My fifth favorite of all time characters is probably Raymond Reddington from The Blacklist, and he's only my fifth favorite because my like higher list is like a lot more iconic characters, and he just happens to be my fifth favorite. Don't know why you've asked fifth favorite, but who knows? What's my favorite animated shows on TV? Miraculous. Apart if we're not including Paw Patrol, obviously, Miraculous Ladybug, um, PJ Masks, it's Adventure Time, regular show, Amazing World of Gumball. There's a long list of this, but more, and I think I'm leaning towards the Cartoon Network side of things. I'll enjoy those more. But don't get me wrong, I absolutely love SpongeBob as well. And what is my favorite Disney animated movie? Okay, I cannot narrow it down to just one, so I'm just going to give you a bit of a list. Alright, Lady and the Tramp, 101 Dalmatians, The Lion King 1 and 2. Let's see. Yeah, it's between those three. I also have a massive love for any movie that Mickey Mouse is in. There's just no question about that. Okay, moving on. Next up, we have. Alright, Paw Patrol Team and Chase, El Mujande, I've realised the name again. He's got a bunch of Paw Patrol questions, so I'll run through them. What's your favourite episode from Paw Patrol? A really, really tough call, but if I'm gonna have to choose just one, it's probably. I mean, come on, it's got to be. Let's see, actually. Pup Save a Camping Trip. Okay, and listen, before you think, oh no, you're just choosing it because of the shipping moment, I'm not a shipper, I want to point that out. The only reason why I love the camping episode so much is probably because not only is it early season one, but it's up there in my favourites just because it's. I don't know, it hits differently every time I see it because it's such an early episode, and I think to myself, this was actually pretty good. This was obviously very relaxing. Listen, I'm gonna probably have to pick a second one because I like it so much. It's probably got to be Sea Patrol Pups, Save a Baby Octopus. I love Sea Patrol. Alright, there's no question Sea Patrol is going to be one of my favourite sub-series ever, which I'll probably answer later. But Pup Save a Baby Octopus just hit differently when I watched it. Alright, favourite villain, Copycat. Definitely going to be Copycat. The only one that seems to be genuinely malicious and actually properly evil and just doesn't have a care in the world for anything. Perfect villain. Favourite pup from Paw Patrol, Zuma. And my favourite place, I think that's going to be Barkingburg, only because it's a UK place and I'm thinking, well, I'm from the UK, just makes sense. Okay, moving on. I don't know. Mathematical asks, have you read any Paw Patrol fan fiction? Simple answer is, I've read a couple. I've read Truth or Dare. I have read Marshall Gone Missing. I have read Monkey's Paw. Look, before you ask how I got into that, it was from Power Piano Preston, and I just wanted to see how disgustingly kind of creepy it was, and yeah. So that's that. Yes, I have. Yeah, Paw Patrol was for teenagers and adults. Instead of kids, would you watch it more or less? I probably would. I'd enjoy seeing what they would do to appeal to an older audience. And before anyone assumes a shipping reason, again, I'm not a shipper, I want to point that out. That would have nothing to do with it. But maybe being a bit more what the movie would do, upping the sort of scale of how serious things are going to get. So that's that. Okay, next up we have Christian Nicholas. He asks, what is your favourite Paw Patrol special and do you have any Paw Patrol merchandise? And if you do, what kind? Alright, well, firstly, my favourite Paw Patrol special, I'm going to assume you mean either TV special or any episode that has been half an hour in length, because I really don't know specifically what you mean. So I'm just going to say my favourite TV special, first of all, is definitely Jet to the Rescue. I really enjoyed seeing not only all eight pups, but Sweetie had a sort of shift in her attitude change to help the princess. It was a nice thing to actually see, and I'm just kind of happy it actually happened. Um, if it's for 30-minute long special, my favourite 30-minute long is probably Mighty Pups Super Paws. Um, Pups 30, like Mighty Kitten, sorry, I've forgotten the name of it, but that one, that's probably my favourite, only because it was the start of Super Paws and I was really happy. And then, do you have any Paw Patrol merchandise? I do. I have a Chase plush. You'll probably see an image of it right now. It's sitting on top of my desktop. Um, it's sitting on top of that, and I'm just sort of, yeah, it's the only real one I have. Okay, now, Savage asks, what do you think about the voice actors for Paw Patrol changing, and what do you think about the animation used in Paw Patrol the movie? About the voice actor changes, it's awkward, but I'm okay with it, only because it's just how it is. That's how most kids' TV shows are. They have to keep them young, because if the voice actors are going to continue to age, it's going to continue to sound a bit weird, so they have to keep them young, so it's really, that kind of thing. Now, what do you think of the animation used in the Paw Patrol movie? Love it, alright? I've seen a lot of the Micros animation works like Asterix, Sponge on the Run, Captain Underpants. They have a really good style of animation for things, and I'm kind of happy that they took over the animation for the movie because it does actually look quite good. Alright, next up, Marshall the Cute Puppy asks, what's your favourite episode in Paw Patrol? Okay, who motivated you to make your YouTube channel, and which country would you like to visit? I've already said my favourite episode, Pup Save a Camping Trip, but if I'm going to have to be a little bit honest with you, I do have a second favourite. It's probably going to be um, Pup Save Pups Pup Save the Shark, I believe, from Sea Patrol. I only love that episode because it was probably the one that I went back to watch the most, only because it's just so silly, and I know every episode is mostly silly, but it just sort of fit, and I kind of liked it. And who motivated you to make a YouTube channel? No one particularly motivated me. I just sort of went off and did it. But if you're talking about who was my inspiration, more like probably Jacksepticeye. I've just been watching him a lot. I always watch him a lot, and I just always rely on him to make me smile. If anyone inspired me, it was him. And which country would you like to visit? I would definitely love to visit the US. Any state in the US, really. Well, any state in the US that's more tolerable to outsiders slash visitors, because I know there can be certain places that aren't really too happy about people coming in from other countries, not in a racial way, but more like just outsiders in general. They don't particularly like people visiting. So, whoever in a US that would be okay with that. Okay. Dalmation Productions, Sears asks, that's what I'm just saying. Dalmation Productions, yeah, they ask, when did you become a fan of Paw Patrol, and what was your real name? Simple thing for that. First one is I have been a fan since the beginning, 2013. I watched it in the UK, obviously, so it was a bit maybe a month, 2 months after it came out in the US, Canada, sorry. And that's just really how it began. There's an entire video dedicated to how I ended up loving the show, and that was just it. My real name, only the first one. It's Michael. Most of the people in Fanatics already know that, but yeah, my first real name is Michael. Okay, I recognise this guy from Fanatics. Eldon Mujidic, Paw Patrol Team and Chase. Who is your inspiration at your YouTube channel? Like I've just said, that would be Jacksepticeye. I can always rely on him to make me smile, and the reason why is I just thought maybe I can do as good as him someday. Not right now, but maybe if I just do my own thing, maybe I'll end up doing quite well as well. Alright, Matthew Munoz, this is a bit of a mouthful. Okay. Matthew Munoz asks, do you like Power Rangers? Yes, I do. My favourite season that you've asked right now is probably Jungle Fury. That just hits one. That one honestly hits definitely for me because I just like this sort of concept better. It sort of just kind of fits. And alright, here we go. And out of all the three Paw Patrol specials, the favourite is my favourite. That would be Jet to Rescue, like I've already said. And let's see. First question you have is, what is your favourite food or foods? Um, I am a huge lover of pizza, and I'm never opposed to pasta as well. Sounds a bit vague, but that's just how it is. Okay, moving on. Jess asks, what's your real name? Like I said, it's Michael. Who's your favourite pup? Zuma. Favourite song from Paw Patrol? Pirate Pups and Sea Patrol. I have a huge love for pirates, and has to be my favourite song. And what's your favourite part of the movie trailer? I think it's got to be the bit. Look, what I know this was probably made before like a bunch of trailers started coming out and things, but if we're talking about the full official trailer, my favourite part is probably gotta be Chase's leap of faith thing. Like I was just feeling like tense in that moment, and I was just thinking, wow, okay. Second favourite is probably Wedgie Drone. I mean, come on, who does not love the Wedgie Drone scene from that trailer? Alright, Buzzwolf asks, okay, what's my favourite movie? Not special, just in general. Okay, well, listen, I'm gonna have to be a bit of a list for that. Okay, favourite live action, like actual actors movies, is probably Star Wars, Terminator, Fast and Furious, The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, and I have a bit of a soft spot as well for most of those. And if we're talking animated, previously mentioned, I have a huge love for The Lion King, 101 Dalmatians. Um, let's see, that mostly covers it. I do quite like Jurassic Park as well, in terms of the live action ones. But if I had to pick one more animated movie that I really, really like, I would say probably. That's actually a tough one. Yeah, let's just go with those. Okay. Shasank A asks, "You're from which country and do you have any other channels?" Alright, I live in the UK, more specifically, I live in Scotland. That answers that. And do you have any other channels? I have a Nebula Overwatch channel, which I haven't uploaded on yet, but yeah, that's kind of it. Alright. Paw Patrol Fan 95 asks, if you could add or change anything about Paw Patrol, what would it be? Right, well, I'm going to divide that up into two things because I actually do have two. The thing I would change, as I mentioned previously, would probably not sidelining so many of these new amazing pups when a new sub-series comes out, or at least make it so that they have some way to be brought into the normal series so they can actually be included, so they're not just sidelined to a sub-series we're never going to see again. And that's change. If I had to add anything, I would say add more female pups. Right? There's a really massive gender imbalance with the show right now, and I just really honestly think that since Sky was the only original OG girl pup and then Evers came along, then came Sweetie, then came Ella, then came Gasket. There's only five in total, right? And the show's been on for about like 8 years or something. My opinion is that if they're going to do a new pup with another new sub series that's not Rescue Nights, it's got to be a female one. My opinion, that's just how it's going to be. Okay, alright, Zuma fan asks, what is your favourite episode in Paw Patrol and your favourite pup? Right, mentioned this previously, favourite pup is Zuma. I will always have a massive love for Zuma because he is literally the underdog, no pun intended. And my favourite episode, like I've said, Pup Save a Camping Trip, Pup Save a Baby Shark, you know what I mean? Sea Patrol, Pup Save the Shark, that kind of thing. And to be fair, I do have quite a decent interest in Mission Paw Quest for the Crown. First villain pup is obviously a really big thing, and that's why I like that quite a bit as well. Sorry, not mentioned that earlier. Okay, Matty Glorify asks, "What's your favourite episode of Gumball?" Okay, that's a really tough call. My favourite episode of Gumball is either the line or the Wi-Fi. Or the Signal. The Signal was a really funny one, and I have never loved that. And what's your top favorite characters ever? Okay, top three favorite animated characters is probably going to be Louise from Bob's Burgers, Brian from Family Guy, and let's say probably Doctor Doofenshmirtz from Phineas and Ferb as well. But listen, I have a long list, so it would take too long, so I'll just leave it there. And of course, Kyle from South Park. And if we're going to go real characters, Luke Skywalker, Bilbo Baggins, and Gandalf from Lord of the Rings. Sorry, that's just true. Alright, moving on. Eldon Majada asks again, and I've brutalised the name, I know. Why are you always play games when you're speaking about Paw Patrol movie? So it's not just some boring, like, watching and it's just my voice, because that would just be relatively dull. I'm not 100% sure if I should do it or not, but that's what I've chose to do, so that's just how it is. Okay, and now, Paw Patrol Fan 95 again asks, what's your favourite Pixar movie? Alright, that's a tough one. Right now, I have a really big love for Luca, only even if it's new, I really am enjoying it. Just, watching it a lot because it's nice. But if I had to go one that's maybe, sorry, a bit more recent, I would say probably Cars. The first one, obviously. Two was just, no. And finally, the last question I have on this. Oh my god, one more gamer asks, why did you pick the name Nebula 5? I already explained this. Used to be as a recap, I used to be called Cyberforce Gaming, wanted to change it, realised I had a big interest with space, and storms and things, went with a nebula because that's the closest thing, and just added the free and the V at the end to make it look more interesting. I guess that's just it. Oh, and I almost forgot one more question from Andrew Gamer GL from Discord. He asks, "What is your favourite Paw Patrol sub-series, and why did you leave the shipping fandom?" Okay, well, hands down, my favourite sub-series is definitely Sub-Sea Patrol. I don't know what it is specifically about it, but it's just somehow, it's such a nice little episode, like couple episodes to go back to. Like it's really enjoyable, and I just always enjoy going back to it. And it's probably my favourites, and that's probably why I like it so much, because it's just, I like the gimmick, and obviously the story with it being anyway Rocky being afraid of water. That's well, a little overused, but it was good in the sense of things, and that's why I liked it. Okay, and now the sore topic question of why you left the shipping fandom. Well, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, alright? It comes down to a little bit of how things were getting a little bit too far. Like I realized that things were being taken maybe too literally and way too far, and it was sort of, it got to the point where it was almost toxic. All right, I'm not just saying that to be nasty, but that's just kind of how it felt. And um, it, I left because I realized that it was getting too crazy and people were taking it way too far. And I just felt like I shouldn't stay in this sort of situation anymore. I don't hate shipping anymore. It's just I'm not exactly like like full on supportive of it anymore. Like for instance, if let's I'm not implying anything with this, but like if a moment was to happen between one of the pups that's something, let's just say something special or cute, okay? I'm just gonna see it as cute and just be that's that, alright? Because I genuinely don't care about the shipping anymore. It's just sort of became a thing that I don't really have that massive interest in, and I realised I was just going too far with it, and personally I felt like I sort of let it get carried away. I was sort of getting a bit dragged on with it, and well, yeah, that's one of the main reasons why I didn't want to stay in it any longer, and I was not really enjoying the show for what it is. Hope that clears everything up, by the way. Anyways, that's all the questions right now. I'm hoping you enjoyed that. Um, I'm hoping I did get a chance to answer the questions that you did end up asking. I'm not 100% sure what's my next plans really. I could do some more, but I mean, who knows? This is kind of like a one-off thing right now. I feel like this is the only thing people only do once. It doesn't really have a need to do it again. But anyways, that is all for now. Hope you enjoyed this. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And this is Nebula out. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.